Hey guys, make sure you are subscribed to our channel and turn on notifications so you know all of our latest posts, and follow us on Twitter and TikTok to come chat some wrestling with us and see clips from our latest videos and podcasts. But now, let's get into the video.
What's up, guys? C2 Wrestling back at you again with a new video. We again have a little bit of a discussion video coming at you, a few things we want to go over. If you haven't checked it out, go back and check out our video. 3 things we each want to see change in AEW. Today, we're coming at you with a similar video, a little bit different format. In that AEW video, we each came up with 3 things we want to see change separately. This time we collaborated, came up with 5 things collectively we want to see WWE change this time. We got a lot coming at you. I'm going to hand it off to Chris. Let's get started.
It's only right. If you're doing a draft of things that need to change in WWE with how much better the product has been, there's a clear 1-1. That's the entrance musics. They look.
Yeah.
Death Rebel, I'll show you the door.
Yeah.
PU stinks.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
It's bad. I could make some better themes, just hitting this table, making a little beat. The theme music has been rough. And just to touch on it a little bit, there's something about an entrance, a theme, an attire, a gimmick. It makes a superstar a superstar. It makes a wrestler a superstar. Somebody becomes whole. It's crazy. I hate this word, but the aura that something like a theme song could give somebody. One of the greatest themes, greatest entrances we've ever had in wrestling, in my opinion, is Aleister Black back in WWE. Root of all evil theme coming up from the coffin. That entrance hit like no entrance, and we have fallen off the mark since then. There are many themes out there that they become catchy. You get in tune with them. LA Knight is a good example of somebody with a theme song that was a little bit was picked off a list. They didn't really go out of their way to make some crazy theme song. I know they have recently updated his theme, but that one works. It sticks with LA Knight. It's okay, it's good. There's a lot of other themes that, even with watching SmackDown, Raw, NXT, all the PLEs, I hear music. I'm still, who is that? What's going on? Who's coming out? What's Carlito? What? There's a lot of themes out there that, if they did change, would make the superstars whole again.
Every theme song does not need an intro.
Oh, ego.
All of them. Tippy time. We are. Everything.
The DIY one might be the worst one. DIY, I love you. Change it.
Yeah.
Change it.
God, it's like these are like it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's bad. And like I'd probably be less passionate if you didn't see videos of the Death Rebel guys and like them just being awful people.
Yeah.
Like, granted, I don't know them personally. I'm not gonna, full on personally attack them. But you are insane if you think the music is better now than it's ever been. I even thought, who was the company right before Death Rebel?
CFO?
CFO.
Yeah, CFO. Something like
CFO
that, right?
was that bad.
No, they made some decent themes. I believe they even tagged along with Incendiary to make the Aleister Black theme.
Yeah.
They might have even had a hand in the Glorious theme.
They made it. They made Glorious.
Yeah, Shinsuke.
They made Shinsuke's
theme. There's some good music to come out of that, and that was the height of like that black and gold era. Triple H was running the show. We have seen recently a new Braun Breaker theme, and I do love to see that it's an actual song. It's music again. Maybe it's a hot take. Maybe I don't think the song fits Braun, to be honest, but it is good to see music again, not just bubblegum pop.
Yeah,
some crap.
See, I will disagree with you. I do actually really like Braun's song.
Yeah.
But emphasis on song. That was a big thing with CFO. A lot of it was just beats.
Yeah.
It was instrumentals. There wasn't, if it was like Glorious.
Yeah.
There's like 10 words said in that song. Like, it wasn't anything crazy. Death Rebel makes CFO seem like it's the top 10 hits of the summer. Like, it is some bad. Don't get me wrong. They have a few The here or there, it's like, okay,
Mhm.
you hit, but a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yes.
That is like the one
Gotta
that
change
needs
it.
to change.
Gotta change it. And there is some decent themes in wrestling right now. I'll argue the best current theme in wrestling is I'd say Judgment Day. I think having an actual band produce the song again goes a long way. I understand it's not as easy to maybe get the rights to certain music nowadays. Rob Zombie used to have some themes, actual artists. I understand that maybe cost a bit. It's not that simple, but man, if I could rehire Jim Johnston, man, that guy was putting out bangers, putting out bangers. There's a way to fix it, and they need to get to it.
Yeah, that is the clear 1-1. What's next?
So tying into music, again, there's a lot that goes into making a superstar. Superstar, there's a theme, an entrance, and attire. Part of an attire, I'm wearing a little bit of it. He's wearing a little bit of it. The merch. WWE has been notorious over the years for selling out millions of dollars in a simple what t-shirt, 316, basic stuff. A lot of the merch over the last few years. Woof, woof. Some bad shirts out there. And listen, it's all opinion. You guys might have some of these shirts. I get it. I'm a big fan of a simple front logo. If anything on the back, small. I feel like it's often we get a lot of shirts. It'd have the big SR on the front, but then the back is going to say freaking 55 times, because you have to know it's Seth freaking Rollins. You get a lot of rough logos on the back. I don't think the merch sells as well as it could. And that only helps the superstars. I was out locally today wearing a CM Punk shirt, and I'm getting stopped. I got a handful of times getting compliments on my CM Punk shirt because it's a notable wrestling shirt. It's a basic logo. His new one when he came back in Chicago. Get a lot of compliments on that. Some of these other stuff they got, some rough ones out there.
See, Punk's got great merch,
Correct.
and a lot of his merch is plays off of his old merch.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time where the merch was even worse,
Yeah.
where it's like a shirt, you'd see the front and it looks great, and then the back and it's completely ruined.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it, like I kind of look at it a little bit like band t-shirts.
Yeah.
There's some band t-shirts where it's like, this is cool to wear because it's fashionable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I want to wear a wrestling shirt and I don't want people to know it's a wrestling shirt, by no means. But looking at this shirt, this looks kind of like an old school Nike shirt.
It does. Yes, it does. Yeah.
Which, shout out Gyro. Giuseppe pointed that out.
Yeah.
Like, it was a great call that this is something like this, simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little logo on the back.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. Someone I love and I'm a very big fan of, who I think has quite possibly the worst merch ever,
Mm-hmm.
is Jey Uso.
Ugh.
I love Jey Uso, and I would love to support Jey Uso
Yeah.
by buying Jey Uso merch.
Yeah.
Some of his merch is literally like, who approved this?
Yeah, Jey Uso is fantastic. I love Jey Uso. I'm up and down every time he comes out. You couldn't convince me to keep $1 million bill that says Yeet on it. Let's be real. It's got some rough merch out there, but it does go even a little bit further than t-shirts. There's a lot of merch. I know there's been a little bit of comeback in the Wrestle Buddies, our age group. I grew up kicking the crap out of Macho Man Randy Savage on my bed, alongside of a few other wrestlers. I've been pitching ideas between each other, just friends shooting the shit. Man, like wrestling pajamas. Me as a kid, man, oh my God, I couldn't even imagine Cody Rhodes attire as pajama pants as a kid. Every night, I would have been wearing those, Man, I used to have 6 years old. I had a Batman pajama suit with a little cape. Imagine that was Cody's little cape thing, cloak, jacket, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of merch opportunities they have that they haven't quite divulged into that I really feel like could make the company a lot of money. I don't sell merch. I don't work in that industry. Maybe I'm wrong. I feel like I got good ideas, but there is at least an update to a lot of the merch that they could do. I'm very into the retro look, less is more, levels above. There has recently been put out a new Javon Evans shirt. It's actually pretty fire. It's a pretty good looking shirt. It's just his face on it, got some colors to it. It has more of a retro feel to it. There's some shirts on their website that are not active, maybe shirts you're going to find at the arena, but they are retro shirts. I know the Hustle, Loyalty, Respect Cena
Mhm.
shirt is on the website. We both have a Dwayne Johnson, The Rock shirt, retro. Looks like you got it out of the little ice cream cone pack, you know?
Yep.
That stuff is great to see. Love the retro look, but I want it with current guys. I want it with today's wrestlers.
I would love that. And last thing on the merch before we move on, not every shirt has to be black.
Yes.
And I wear
Yes. Mostly black.
I mostly wear
Yeah.
black. So I understand that a lot of these shirts being black, actually, I'm gonna wear it because I wear a lot of black. It is nice to get a shirt like one of my favorite shirts. Again, something that's very simple,
Mhm.
is a great color, and it is, in my opinion, pretty fashionable.
Mhm.
I have the Austin Theory, where it's the old SmackDown logo and it says Austin Theory, and it's in a blue. It
Yep.
looks good. It's a different color.
Uh-huh.
It's just, it's, I can wear that and it doesn't look crazy.
Yeah,
The color isn't obtrusive. It can be done.
absolutely.
Don't get me wrong. If you want to have some of your main stuff be black shirts, totally fine. I'll probably buy it. Not every shirt has to be black because that's not just WWE. That is like all of wrestling.
Yeah.
Let's chill.
Switch it up a little bit. Refresh the color palette, I'll say. But moving on to the next thing. This is number 3 on the list of things we would like to see change in WWE. We've discussed this together. There is a certain set of tag titles in the company, the women's tag titles. Now, listen, we're again constructive criticism. We're not here to hate on any division, any company. We love wrestling. We watch it all. The women's tag division, kill it. It is not working. And let's be honest, maybe it can under this Triple H era. We've seen a little bit more involvement with the Unholy Union, I believe is their name.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jade and Bianca. You know, there's been a little bit more involvement, a little bit more spotlight to women's tag titles, but not a whole lot, not a lot going on. I think, and I know you're going to agree, you kill those tag titles and introduce a women's mid card title. I think that goes over a lot better with the audience. I think it's easier to book. I think it's easier all around. The women, maybe in a few years, the roster has grown. You know, a matter of years ago, the women's roster was very small in comparison to today. So maybe in a few years, it will be a lot easier to have established women's tag teams. But right now, it's still 90% thrown together women's tag teams. And that is fine every now and again. Having a Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso win the tag belts works every now and again. But when all of your tag teams are just universe mode tag teams thrown together 2 superstars, doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Right now is probably the best crop of actual tag teams in the women's division. The champs on Holy Union. Bianca and Jade make sense as a tag team. Damage Control, Shayna, Sonya, and Zoe.
Yeah.
And then
Even Nia and Tiffany in a
Nia
way.
and Tiffany. And then drawing a blank. I don't think they have a team name. Katana Chance and Katie
and
Carter.
Carter, yeah, that's another good one.
Again, like they're an actual tag team.
Piper and Chelsea.
Piper and Chelsea. This is the deepest the women's tag division has ever been. And it feels like it is the least it's been shown.
Yeah.
And again, I like the Unholy Union, both very good wrestlers. It's odd that this is the deepest the division's ever been, and it feels like it's the least amount that we're even seeing the champions. A women's mid-card title where, just like the tag titles, can float on either brand. That's a different story where when I look at NXT, it's working right now for NXT. They don't have the stress of trying to force together. Tag teams are going to happen. I'm not saying there should be no women's tag teams at all. Tag teams are going to happen. Factions are going to happen, and it makes sense. I think you'll be just fine doing it. And there's a mid-card title and a women's heavyweight title or a world title. compared to tag titles and the main title.
Yeah, I think a woman's mid card title, a woman's intercontinental, whatever you want to call it, would just do a lot more for the division. I think that's a better branch for the women to become a future main eventer than, say, a tag title run would be. And we just got to be honest in what we've seen over the years with these women's tag titles. It just hasn't been good, guys. Let's be realistic. It's no slight against the woman. They have all tried. Again, Unholy Union, they're great. You know, there's nothing wrong with any of them. Jade is great. Bianca's great. But it's been bad. And I know there was a lot of discourse at a point. You know, Naomi and Sasha Banks had left the company over the tag titles and just ongoing company stuff. It's a different era now. Things have changed. I understand we're only going up from here, but I still just don't think women's tag titles are necessary. I don't see the division as deep enough. I don't see the commitment there. And you might hate me for saying this. It's again not a slight to the women or anybody. There is better things for them to put on TV right now. I think that's why we're not really seeing it too much. There's so much going on in wrestling. They're not important. Women's tag titles are important.
Completely agreed. So moving on to number 4. And this is one, this might be a little bit of nitpicking, but honestly, a lot of people that I talk to have this similar gripe. We love the long-term storytelling. I think it's fantastic. I think it is the best it has been in years.
Absolutely.
There is a bit of repetitiveness in some of the stories. And I understand when you're telling a long-term story, sometimes you got to do a little bit of filler. But the Bloodline and the Judgment Day story specifically, just because it's two of the main long-term stories, there are some shows where it is back-to-back weeks, maybe 3 weeks in a row, where the show ends the exact same.
Yeah.
Where it is the same exact thing. I think of when the Bloodline was attacking Bloodline 2.0. One week they take out Randy. Next week they take out KO. Next week, like, it ends the same way. Switch it up. Have it at the beginning of the show. Something. Do things a little bit differently. Whatever. The Judgment Day. Right after SummerSlam, you have everybody attacking Priest. Rhea comes out, makes the save. Big spot on the way. The very next week, yes, we got a promo. We get another matchup, you know, a different match. Right. Priest faced JD last week. He's facing Carlito this week. Match ends. All attacking Priest. Here comes Rhea. Big moment after. It's the same exact thing that you saw the week before. I'm not saying you got to do something crazy and just completely, you know, throw things out. I understand doing a little bit of filler. There are times I feel like I've seen the exact same segment from a previous week.
Absolutely. You know, and I think even the Mania 40 build with Roman, The Rock, Cody, Seth, everybody involved, it was great. Again, as you probably know, if you're a fan of the channel, we were there. We went to Mania 40. It was a fantastic time. I can even recall a SmackDown or two where the promo felt like the same promo from last week. You know, I think we tend to run into this trouble November, December, January, March a little bit, where sometimes we happen to get those like 5-week spans without a PLE instead of it being like a normal 3 to 4 week. So you got one more week of TV to fill. How do you fill it without being repetitive? I don't book creative for WWE. I wish I did, but I don't. I don't know how you do it. It depends on the story. It depends on everything going on. But I do think there is a way around the slight repetitiveness. And I think you had briefly just said it. Easy, very small thing that would break up the monotony of it. If the segment opens the show this week, maybe it closes next week. Maybe it's in the middle of the show. Break it up, put it in different sections. I understand, like you had referenced the Judgment Day angle, Priest and everybody getting attacked. And, you know, I know they had Liv getting chased by Rhea out in the stands and with the fans and everything. And that's cool. I love seeing that stuff. That's like a memorable Raw moment. But it's not as memorable if they just had a brawl the week prior, you know? And I understand that brawl wasn't maybe as extravagant, but still, it almost all kind of blends into one. I think there is a way to break up that monotony. I love the long-term storytelling. I hope it stays. But I think there's a little bit of writing that can be done to break it up a bit.
Yeah, and look, If it was so easy, I'd be doing it.
Yeah.
Not, you can call it a nitpick. Not sitting here saying they don't know how to do their jobs, whatever. But this is like when you're critiquing things,
Mhm.
this is something that does come to mind to me. That does it doesn't happen with every story, but it does happen.
Yeah. It is a little bit of a nitpick. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to praise this company. I do love WWE. I want to be constructive. They have a lot of great things going on right now. So this does almost feel a little bit nitpicky, but that's kind of the point. It's constructive criticism. Maybe Triple H watches this video. Maybe he checks it out and goes, wow, these guys are
Send me a
right.
DM.
Chris and Chris they're brilliant. Maybe we should sign them for creative. Hopefully. But point is, there's a few things that can change. Repetitiveness, I think the storylines, whether they are stretched out, whether you break it up, however you do it, it all depends what's going on. I think you can break it up a little bit.
For sure. And we get on to number 5. Take us home.
Number 5, this ties in a little bit to some of our earlier changes, such as merchandise and theme music. And realistically, it's just overall look and feel. WWE is at an all-time high. The regime we're under has been fantastic. Let's change it up. We want new music. We want new merch. Give me a new logo. Bring back the opening themes in the beginning of the show. Give me new ring ropes. I don't need some mega Titantron with a fist, but give me something new. Let's refresh the look a little bit. They've been through a lot of stages and ring looks and whatnot in the past. We're in this new era, but I do feel like we still got the look and feel of the Vince regime a little bit, especially in my opinion, NXT. Those colored titles, get rid of them, look and feel. NXT, I don't think they need to go back to black and gold, but I do think if you darken the show a little bit, bring the lights down, make that logo yellow and black again, maybe bring back the yellow ropes. I personally hate white ring ropes. I prefer them on Raw, red, SmackDown, blue, or make them black. Just little things to break up the shows again. The ref on SmackDown doesn't have to have a blue ref shirt. I won't be opposed if he did, though. I think it's pretty cool. I like when they do those kinds of things. But what's your opinion on the look and feel? What do you want to see change?
The first thing immediately that comes to mind is the sets for pay-per-views.
Yes, yes.
Look, you mentioned it doesn't have to be the craziest thing,
Mhm.
but Mania gets a
Big
set, whatever. It is a little upsetting when I watch SummerSlam
Mhm.
and it's like it doesn't have the look or feel. I understand sometimes it's not as easy being in a different venue, whatever.
Mhm.
But I don't want to watch a pay-per-view PLE, whatever you want to call it, and it looks the exact same as Raw.
I agree.
It looks the
Yeah.
exact same as SmackDown.
Yeah.
And again, they've been doing a lot of these overseas shows, so a lot of times it's kind of like that tunnel look or
Mhm.
whatever. So it is different, but give me something. NXT is really good with a lot of their shows. Just a little flavor, the in your house, whatever. Just a little flavor of something different, like a Bad Blood. Let's have
A blood
a
drop.
blood drop or something at
Yeah.
the entrance or whatever. A
Yeah.
backlash. Bring back
The
the
arms.
arm
Yeah.
things that are swing.
Yeah.
Something. Just change that up just a little
So
bit.
what I will say to tail onto that, I like the minimalist sets. I really do. I think the small entrance, the Madison Square Garden type Titantron, I think is very cool. But again, you don't have to have the massive fist with the whole Armageddon cage, but you could do the what is it, 1998 Survivor Series skull. I might have the year wrong, but you know what I'm talking about, that infamous Survivor Series entrance with the skull. Bad Blood is a great reference of it's easy to just do like a circle Titantron with a blood drop under it. Nothing crazy. Makes the show special though. Makes it its own.
For sure. And if there's anything that you would change, get down in the comments below. Anything on our list you agree with, disagree with. Maybe you're a fan of just the minimalist entrances, whatever it may be. Maybe you are one of the very few
Mhm.
Def Rebel fans, and you're going to get in the comments and tell us how great it is to hear we are
DIY.
Jesus, I can't even joke about it. Get in the comments below before you get there. Subscribe, like, share the video, turn notifications on so you know every time we post. Where can they catch us?
Twitter, TikTok. We got a lot of great things coming again. Find us on all the social media. We're going to be posting as much as we can. We love the interaction. Let's keep it up. This is C2 Wrestling, baby.
See you guys next time.